Good afternoon, it's Mayor Turner, and I was just wanting to give you a brief update on what's going on with coronavirus. We'll start with the numbers, like we always do. Amarillo is at 3506. Lubbock is at 759. Abilene is at 884. San Angelo is at 82. Wichita Falls is at 90. Midland is at 177. El Paso is at 3,582. And currently, Ector County is at 258. Let me explain a little bit what's going on with the number going up so fast. The CDC in the state of Texas are now including probable cases, as far as people with the symptoms, and maybe they're waiting for a test or things like that. So there's actually 31 probables included in our number of 258. So that is part of what's going on. So those may come off, they may stay on. It just depends upon when their test comes back. The tests are taking a little bit longer. Some tests are taking as long as 7 to 8 days because there's an increase in number of tests being asked for. A lot of private tests. Also, the hospitals are saying they're averaging about 20 a day. So it's simply supply and demand. That will slow down the test results coming back. And some of the rapid tests that hospitals have been able to use, the state allocates the kits. I've used the analogy of it's kind of like a printer. You have to have the printer cartridges. Well, they have to have the test cartridges. They have the machine, but if you don't have the cartridge, you can't test. And so the state sometimes allocates those to communities that are a little harder hit than Ector County. But we still are seeing an increase in numbers. Of course, our death number is up to 6, and currently we have 152 that have been recovered. So that's a good number to have. In the hospitals, right now there are 13 in medical center, and a couple of those are on ventilators. So we are hoping that they get better. And medical center has 59 tests that are pending. ORMC has 2 that are in the hospital. Some of these are actually from the nursing home that had the problem out west of town. So it's the same company that had the problem in Crane. So Deering Nursing Home has been tested, and everything was negative with the patients and with the staff. So that's great news. One of the things they talked about on the press conference today is the age range that we are seeing more COVID cases in. That age range is 25 to 64, typically the working people. We are not seeing a lot of the older people, which is good because a lot of those are immunocompromised and it can be very serious if they get it. But a lot of it is that 25 to 64. So that's the group that we really need to target to talk about face mask. I know a lot of people say, well, I'm an American and it's my choice to wear a face mask. In my opinion, it's more of a social contract, because if you're sick and you go out into public, yes, you have the option of wearing or not it, but if you're getting somebody else sick, you're taking their rights away by saying, I don't have to wear a mask or I don't have symptoms. Because there are people that are asymptomatic, which basically means they're positive and they don't know they're positive. So if you go into the grocery store, you're not wearing a mask and you're coughing or something like that, you are spreading coronavirus to innocent people. So that's one of the things we're going to start working on. We are going to start working on an advertising campaign in English and in Spanish to be able to get the word out and say, we really need all to protect your other citizens. Where we're seeing many of these cases are over the holidays. Memorial Day was a big day. A lot of these cases are coming in about the right time for them to have been exposed during Memorial Day. So we really need to, if you're going out of town, we're seeing a lot coming back, people coming back into town with it. You have to protect yourself no matter where you are. If you go to the lake or you go to the mountains, you need to continue to protect yourself, wash your hands, wear a face covering, social distance. And That way you keep it from spreading. One of the things that we're starting to hear about, and I'm sure you've already seen something on the news, are large gatherings. Large gatherings, we're having to live with coronavirus, and everything is going to be changed now. But we have to do things wisely. There's been a talk about a party for the graduates, 500 to 1,000 people. Yes, you can legally have that, but if you're having one of those, we need to make sure that masks are worn, you're social distancing, because if somebody chooses not to and they're positive, that's a lot of people to get sick. And the big concern there is we overrun the hospitals with critical care. If it's young people, most young people would just get it. It would be sick, probably like a bad flu or a bad cold. The concern is getting it to their grandparents or to someone that maybe has COPD, high blood pressure, diabetes, things like that. That's the concern. The kids are young, healthy, they would probably be fine. It's the older people, maybe the grandparents, maybe the parents, or maybe a sibling that has diabetes, things like that. That's the concern. I know in Midland they're talking about having a prom for all those that didn't have a prom. Yes, it's a good idea, but do it in a way that everyone's going to be protected, because you'd hate to be the sponsor or the organizer and a lot of people get sick because proper steps weren't taken. I told you I was going to update you on many things. The restaurants and all of those that were at 50% have now gone to 75% of the occupancy load. There are so many on there. There are about 30 or 40 different industries that are affected that I just don't have time to go over each and every one of them. But I do want to recommend you go to Open Texas. You can just Google it. It's the governor's website, and it will tell you about everything. Water parks, amusement parks, the game rooms are now open, and you can see all of those and read what each business is allowed. Because, there are so many different businesses that open at different times. Each one has a different amount of people that can go in there. So that is a great website. It tells you the dates and the protocols that are put into place. So just if you would please, for me, pray for our country. Our country is still struggling. No matter where you sit politically, no matter what race or anything, we can always pray for our other citizens and just ask that the Lord be with our country to help calm everything. That's very hard on a lot of the businesses, a lot of small businesses that really are struggling, and many have been destroyed. And those businesses didn't do anything wrong. Unfortunately, they were just there. So that's the complete update. Like I said, you can go to opentexas.com. That's probably one of the best places to go to find out what's going on with each industry. That way, you can find out exactly from the governor. So God bless each and every one of you. God bless Texas. God bless Ector County and Odessa. And God bless the USA. And I will talk to you on Monday. Thank you and have a safe weekend.